And always the things I always say, which are that you don't need to keep looking at the screen if you don't want to. We look at screens far too often and they're not good for us. So if you'd rather just listen to my voice and have your eyes closed, that's fine. And the other thing, I always say this at the beginning, it's really important that you listen to your body and your energy. And if anything doesn't feel right, just lie down and rest out of it. Because this is your practice, it's for you, not me. I'm just here to guide you. And we've all got different limits to our energy. So the most important thing is that you listen to how your body is. That's really, really important. So the theme of our class today is overcoming fear. Sorry, Natalie's saying she can't hear. Sorry, let me just check this message before we start. Can everybody else hear me? Can you put your thumbs up if you can hear me? Yeah, I think it must be at your end, Natalie. So you might like to try coming out of the Zoom class and then going back in, or just checking your settings. Because I think everybody else can hear. So, did you hear that, Natalie? Yeah, okay, so I'm going to carry on. So the theme of the class today is overcoming fear, and I know I've done this before, it's quite a constant theme because I think there's a lot that yoga can do to help, to remind us. And when I was preparing the class, I was thinking about how overcoming fear is on several levels. So it can be, so I'm just going to mute everybody. So it can be quite obviously with what's going on in the outside world. And I'm not going to name that because that's just triggering, but we all know that there are events in the outside world which are ratcheting up, which are quite scary. But there's also the other thing, which is the fear of our own symptoms and our own body. And I speak as somebody where that's quite familiar to me because I've had ME myself. I've also had a brush with long COVID. So I know that the actual body itself can be scary. Sorry, again, I'm just checking the messages. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jack, for putting that. That's great. So overcoming fear, whether it's external or internal, there's two major points that yoga says. And the first one is to be as present as we can, because being present, usually there's no big problem when we are in the present moment. And the second thing I want to say, and this is quite conceptual, but I'd like you to kind of maybe go away and meditate on it or think about it, is that fear comes from the future, and fear is a story in our head. Now, something I'm trying to share a lot in our sessions is these two things: to be present, but also to not believe our thoughts, because our thoughts are often very scary. And as we know, the newspapers, the news, social media is all there to ratchet up the fear. And you might think, well, the fear is very real, you know, what's happening externally. But what we're being asked to do in yoga, spiritually, whatever word you want to use for it, is to be in our bodies and to stay present as we can. And actually, I'd just like to share a story with you. Many years ago, I was going through a rather horrible divorce. And the way I coped with going through that, and I know some of you have been through that yourselves, was I carried a copy of The Power of Now in my handbag. So at any time I felt afraid, I would pull out The Power of Now and I would read a paragraph and I would instantly be comforted from it. And I would realize that all my fears were to do with future thinking. And as long as I could come back to the present moment and breathe and be more in my body, then these were the tools that helped me to get through. So this is what I'm kind of working on. The practice this morning is about staying in our bodies, being with the breath, staying present. And the great antidote to fear is love. So today we're going to be working on Muladhara chakra, which is about embodiment, overcoming fear, being in our bodies. And we're also going to work on the heart chakra, Anahata chakra, which is about opening the heart to love, because love and self-compassion are our antidotes to fear. So with that said, I now invite you to come into a comfortable sitting position. And the other thing we're going to be looking at is actually allowing the fear, because when we resist something or we distract ourselves, it actually makes it worse. But when we can be present with something, even if just for a bit, then that is very helpful in releasing tension and helping our nervous system. So come into your body, sit comfortably, and think about your posture for a moment or two. So this means not collapsing over our rib cage, lifting up the heart, opening the heart, ears in line with our shoulders, so we're not poking our head forward in that computer type position. Shoulders falling away from the ears. And then just take your hand to your heart. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes and welcome yourself just as you are. And then take a moment or two to think about a safe resource. So again, this is something I often speak of, but I'm going to go through it again because it's very important, particularly with what we're doing today. So think of somebody or something that makes you feel safe. So this might be a relation, a loved one, a friend, a teacher, or it might be something like a pet, or it might be, you might have something that you remember, a special place. And just think about this safe resource in your mind and know that this is a story, a positive story that you can always go to whenever you want to. And then drop your hand down. Just observe how you're feeling now, emotionally, physically, and mentally. And just allow that to be as it is. So if you can, try to let everything be as it is. Try not to resist your current moment experience. And then become aware of the breath. And just take a moment or two to observe the breath. And then if it's comfortable for you, just begin to slow the breathing down. And if you can, breathe through the nose. And then take one hand to the heart, the other to the belly, and direct the breath to the hands on the belly. So that you're breathing slow and low from the diaphragm, and make the breath gentle, so it's not big breaths, just very gentle, subtle breaths. And then dropping your hands, continue to breathe like this if it's comfortable, and focus just on the out breath. So the out breath is the breath of letting go. It's the breath of parasympathetic division. So it's the breath that takes us out of the stress response. So if you're able to, just focus on a long, smooth exhalation. And then we're going to hum out the breath for the next 5 exhalations, just to help to tone the vagal nerve and also to bring us back to a sense of our own vibration. So always remember, everything is optional, but if you like, in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch, breathe in through the nose. So in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch. And we're going to introduce a chant this morning, because we're going to do a short meditation around fear, and this chant's going to be very helpful. So the chant is Bhakti Namaha. I'll put it in the chat box. And it means love. It means I am not separate from love. So when you're ready, if you like to take one hand to the heart, the other on top. So we're chanting this to the heart, and this is how it sounds. So I'll do it first, and then you chant back to me. So we're chanting as call and response. Bhakti Namaha. Bhakti Namaha. Bhakti Namaha. And then drop your hands to your knees. Just feel the silence and the spaciousness created by the chant. And we're going to go into a short meditation now. So just make yourself comfortable. And start by thinking of somebody or something that you love. Just evoke this feeling of love in your heart. And then think of something that brings up fear, but I'm asking you to not do anything that's too triggering, but just something maybe minor that makes you feel anxious. And then I want you to drop out of the story in your head around this situation and just feel where it is in the body. So we're feeling it somatically. So likely it's in your belly or in your heart, or it might be tension in the shoulders. Just observe how that feels. So drop into your body, come out of your head, and just feel how that affects you physically. And if you like, you can take your hands to the place where you're feeling that. And then observe this feeling as a shape. Does it have a vibration to it? Does it have a colour? Maybe it's dark or pale. Does it have a texture? And every time you come into the head or back into the head, just drop back to the feeling, the sensation. And at any time, if it becomes too overwhelming, please use your safe resource. In other words, come out of the feeling and just go to your safe resource. And then see if you can bring a sense of curiosity to the sensation. So examine it as if you're detached from it, but you're just observing it with curiosity, non-judgment. And then see if you can bring compassion to it, because it is part of you. It's not separate from you. Try to be kind to it. Allow it. You might use words such as, this feeling is okay. I'm going to do my best to allow it, so I'm not resisting it. And if you can't bring in self-compassion, see if you can bring in acceptance. This is how it is in this moment. And then bring a sense of spaciousness to it. Breathe into this sensation. And remember, if you go into the story in your head, just drop back into the body and into the sensation. And if any time it's too much, go back to your safe resource. And now bring your hands to your heart. And just say quietly to yourself 3 times, I am welcoming in love. I am welcoming in love. And just know that in this moment, all is well. Feel now your feet and what they're connecting with. Feel your hips, especially around the base of the spine, Muladhara chakra. And feel that in this moment, there is nothing to fear. Fear is a thought that comes from thinking about the future, but here you are in your body and you're okay. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and drop your hands. And we're just going to do some more chanting before we come down to rest. So again, this is optional, but if you would like, bring your hands to the Namaste position at the heart. We're going to breathe in and open the arms wide, and then we're going to hug ourselves as we chant Bhakti Namaha. And then inhaling, opening the arms wide, then the other way. Bhakti Namaha. And do that twice more in your own breathing rhythm and your own pitch. And if you want to do more, that's fine too. And then dropping your hands to your knees, just visualize that you are placing a cloak of safety around you. And this cloak can be in any material that you like. So it can be light like a spider's web made of silk, or it could be heavy like velvet. You can make it whatever texture or color you would like to imagine. But just imagine that this is keeping you safe. And as you breathe in, visualize breathing in safety. As you breathe out, releasing tension. And if you want to make this a color, you can. So I would suggest either the color white, the color green from the heart chakra, or the color red from the root chakra. So just for a few moments, visualize breathing in safety as a color, breathing out tension. And then when you're ready, still keeping your cloak around you, come down to lying. It can be on the floor, on a mat, or it can be on a sofa or a bed. You rest in any way that feels right for you. So I suggest you start with your knees bent, something under your head to support you. And you can rest on your side or your front, but classically we would be resting on our back. So you might like to just look up at your belly button to check that you're straight. And you might like to have the arms comfortably away from the body, space under the armpits, palms turned up or down if that's better for you, or you can rest the palms on the belly if that feels more comfortable. And just feel that the earth is supporting you and holding you. Feel the weight of your body on your support, particularly the weight of your head. And then just gently roll the head from side to side. And then center the head. Take one hand to the heart, one to the belly. And again, just become aware of the breath. If you can, slow, gentle breaths through the nose from the diaphragm. Again, just say to yourself 3 times, I am welcoming in love. And if you can, have a sense of turning this love in towards yourself. And then drop your hands beside the body. And we're now going to go into our longer yoga nidra practice. I'm just going to stop the recording and then I'll start it again.